So some of you have clocked correctly that this is a drip or drown channel. What can I say? I like to dress nice, okay? And I dress in a manner that is much gaudier than I do in my normal day-to-day life. There's definitely a sense of maximalism that I have when I'm deciding how to dress for a YouTube video. And today I thought it would be cool to wear my black hat, and my black rimmed glasses, and my black pants, and change my bass strings in this gothed out fit. Of course, when I was going back over the footage of me changing my bass strings, there's like a piece of white fuzz on my hat. I realized that this shirt doesn't really fit me that well, plus it's also really wrinkly. To say nothing of the fact of how agnostic I am about my glasses, you know, these are pretty new frames. I'm still not used to them yet. So all in all, this is just a giant wardrobe malfunction of a video. I feel like I need to be humbled for not uploading in over a month, which, by the way, is crazy. I didn't think that would happen. Well, actually, I did. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, for better and for worse. So, unfortunately, anything I endeavor to do kind of takes on this life or death quality, and that includes making YouTube videos. But I've done a lot of self-reflection. I think I'm on the other side of it now. I apologize if the meta commentary is annoying. I always hate when YouTubers are always like, only 10% of the people watching this are subscribed to my channel. Like, don't talk about the analytics. Don't talk about behind the scenes. You're ruining the illusion. But I feel like we have that intimate bond. You know, we're a band here. Speaking of, my name's Luke.exuberance, the public universal bandmate, which means if you're new here, you've just joined my band. Today's rehearsal is nothing special. Like I said, we're changing bass strings. I'm actually a little out of practice when it comes to changing bass strings. You know, I've had this bass in particular since November of 2023, and I've just been running the stock strings the entire time. My other bass, my first bass, it's a Squier Jazz bass, and I'm just running flat wounds on that thing, which I bought specifically so I don't have to change them. So yeah, what you're seeing right now is me changing bass strings for the first time in like 7 years or something like that. It's actually been so long since I've changed bass strings that I've never bought the Rotosound bass strings before. If you've been following the channel for as long as I've been making these videos, you know that I am a simp for Rotosound. I bought some Rotosound 66 swing bass strings. I heard they're good. But yeah, I just went on Sweetwater, looked up some bass strings, and you know, my order came in. Got the candy, of course. You know, I'm assuming if you're subscribed to this channel, you're also a musician. I probably don't need to preach the good word of Sweetwater to you, but it's pretty awesome. You pay Amazon prices, and they give you a bag of candy and like a customer service representative who's like, can I get you a hot towel? Like, their customer service is actually pretty stellar. They gave me like an orange Tootsie Roll, which I don't know if they did that on purpose because I ordered orange bass strings, but if they are that committed to the visual presentation of the package, that's pretty badass. Somehow I end up doing free advertising anytime I change my strings for one of these videos. It'd be really cool if it wasn't free advertising, though. Just saying, Sweetwater, if you want to sponsor, give me a call or shoot me an email, exuberancemail@gmail.com. And hey, if you're in the band, you can email me there too. On that note, I have an Instagram, luke.exuberance on Instagram, if you want to go follow that. You know, it's kind of just a new thing. I haven't really been posting content on there, which, by the way, content, I hate that word. But also, like, what did we call it before? Anyways. Little candy to wet the palate. My dentist is going to love that. Oh yeah, speaking of, I dislocated my jaw at a party over Memorial Day weekend. So like literally just a few days after my last upload, I was yawning, believe it or not. My brother's girlfriend who was hosting the party was like, why were you yawning at my party? I was like, well, I drank like 5 beers. I was slowing down because I knew it was going to be a crazy night. I got a little fatigued. I had to let rip a yawn. Like, and the thing is, if you don't keep drinking, like, you get a little fatigued. And so I just let rip like a full width yawn, and my jaw popped out of place. I've got pictures. Of course I've got pictures. Anyway, it was Memorial Day weekend, so all the dentists were closed. I had to go to the fucking hospital. They took x-rays and they gave me like fentanyl. Well, in a way, I guess it was its own party.
Hey, Luke from the edit here. I've always wanted to say that. I just wanted to pop in here and clarify that I did not drive myself to the ER. I think that goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyways. I had 5 or 6 beers in me, and all of the pain of a mandibular subluxation There was no way I was getting behind the wheel of a car. If you must know, my other brother's now girlfriend, who he had actually met for the very first time at this party, was stone sober, and she was who drove me. I'd like to think that my tragedy was their first date, but perhaps I'm flattering myself too much. I digress. Back to the story.
But yeah, I got there and they were like, how did you dislocate your jaw? And I was like, well, I was yawning at a party. And they were like, why were you yawning at a party? And I was like, well, I had like 6 beers and like I was slowing down. And anyway, there's not really a point to this story other than the fact that the American healthcare system is absolutely just fucked. I'm so lucky that I'm still just barely on my parents' insurance, because I got the explanation of benefits letter and oh my God, that was like student debt numbers on that shit. But yeah, I went to the actual dentist like last week and I told them that. I was like, listen, I dislocated my jaw last month. Just thought you should know that. And they were like, how'd you dislocate your jaw? And I was like, well, I was yawning at a party. And they were like, why were you yawning at a party? And I didn't feel like explaining that time. But anyway, thankfully, it hasn't just been medical trauma for me. I did a little retail therapy the other day. Yeah, I ended up buying a new suit for a job interview that I will have just completed after this video is uploaded. So hopefully that went well. Yeah, I won't lie. I've got a bit of a fire lit up under my ass after seeing that medical bill. So I'm just trying to be more serious in general. I want to be really serious with this YouTube shit. Not even because I'm like one of those people who thinks like, oh, I'm going to be an influencer one day. Although, hey, like I said, Sweetwater Rotosound, if you want to give a kid a bag. But no, it's like a matter of like personal development. I really want to be serious about this. And I really love the support I have been getting on these videos. Like, I really did not expect to be doing as well as I have on here. Like, my last video, I think, was like my second best viewed video. You know, I recognize everyone's names in my comments section. It's really awesome to have you guys here. And listen, if you're still supporting me after my little hiatus, you are an absolute G. Just an absolute, you're the rhythm section of our little band here, okay? Just holding it down the entire time. Thank you guys so much. I don't know what else to yap about in this video. I've just been kind of riffing off the top of my head here. I normally write a script for these videos, believe it or not, but this time I just didn't even bother. I was like, I need to get something out there. Let me know if you mess with the more improvisational format. I hope you have been soothed by me changing my bass strings. I hope you are satisfied to see that the white fuzz on my hat is gone. And thanks again for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like, comment down below, and maybe consider subscribing if you want to stick around with this little band we've got going. Until then, I've been Luke.exuberance, the public universal bandmate, and I'll see you at our next rehearsal. Peace.